Hello. Hi. Hi. Hello. Happy Valentine's Day, Malcolm Lovejoy. So there's so much to say. Sometimes I get overwhelmed, but I have a few messages to get to you first. Love School is open. You can sign up on Facebook. Just type in Love School with Malcolm Lovejoy and you will find the link. You can join. It's very simple. Also, tomorrow is officially Black Panther Day. I can't believe it. Been waiting years. So long. Been waiting so long for this Black Panther movie, and it's finally here. Shout out to Stolen from Africa, and shout out to my Nextra homies. I will be going with them tomorrow. But this is what I wanted to say for a few weeks. I've seen a few people kind of mention it a little bit, and I didn't say much just because I had other things on my mind and I was in other places doing other things. But right now, right here, right before we get into this Black Panther era, before Marvel and Chadwick Boseman and Lupita Nyong'o and Forrest Whitaker. Shout outs to Forrest Whitaker. Yes, he had to be in this. Ghost Dog. Yo, and Angela Bassett. Shout out to Angela Bassett in one of my favorite slept-on movies, Green Lantern. It was better than people think. When they went to OA, it was dope. But anyways. Mad love to Ryan Coogler. Mad love. And shout out to Michael B. Jordan. I can't wait to see what you do with Killmonger. And also Daniel Kaluuya. Oh, I can't wait to see. And Dania Guerrera, happy 40th birthday. Today is your birthday. That's awesome. So there's so many amazing people that are a part of Black Panther. I am so happy to go and see them tomorrow. But people are talking about, it is the first predominantly blacker than black on both sides, black top to bottom, punch you in the face, black eye, everything black, red, black, and green on the scene movie ever. It's just magnificent how black and beautiful it is. Shout out to Marvel for just being like, this is just a brilliant culture and idea and story and legacy we want to invest in and respect and bring to life on the screen. It's a good idea. After 17 other Marvel movies, generally just empowering only white male archetypes and, the occasional moment with Black Widow. This is nice. That being said, my point is that they talk about black superheroes. And shout out to Blade. Mad shout out to Blade. Just Wesley Snipes all fucking day, every day. Boom, boom, boom. Yo, Blade not only helped revive superhero movies, but Blade also helped revive vampire movies. So, big up to that. Blade was just so ahead of its time. Yes, Ryan Reynolds was also in the third Blade movie. And, shout out to Ryan Reynolds playing Weapon X in the Wolverine Origins. No, he didn't play Weapon X. He played Weapon 11, which was essentially Deadpool that shot laser beams out of his eyes. I don't know. But he also had adamantium claws out of his hands, and that was fucked. Anyways, I just really like the fact that all these things are connected. All this history was coming up a long time. But, black superheroes is my point. It had Meteor Man. It had Blank Man. Shout out to Damon Wayans. We've had... Who else was there? We've had Steel. I'm missing one more. But, there's been a few black superheroes. And one that doesn't get talked about much is Hancock by Will Smith. And I really have to make this point. I want to put it out in the world. First, Hancock needs a sequel. First and foremost, there needs to be a sequel to Hancock. Straight up. Will Smith. I mean, it was almost 10 years. It was 10 years, not exactly 10 years ago, but it was like 9.5 years ago that Hancock came out. It came out in July 2008. And 10 years ago, we had a black superhero. 10 years ago. But Hancock is a special story. Not too many superhero stories came to the screen without being part of a comic. And Hancock did not originate as a comic. Will Smith was such a star, they were just like, hey, superhero movies are blowing up. We got, Spider-Man. So yeah, things were blowing up at the time. And they're like, yeah, let's just throw Will Smith in a superhero movie. Let's make him a superhero. And this was 10 years ago, which predates Man of Steel by 5 years. And Man of Steel is one of the first superhero movies where people were like, oh, well, what happens? And what's the collateral damage to society in Metropolis when Superman and Zod are punching each other through buildings and smashing each other up into space and having satellite debris fall down onto the Daily Planet and such. So, like, Hancock did it already 10 years ago. So, big up to Black history being done before modern history. Because, when Batman and Superman have their fight, they're like, they make it a side point to be like, oh, well, they're fighting late at night and downtown Metropolis is cleared out, so there won't be any collateral civilian damage. So, nah. Anyways, so Hancock is smashing shit up. Hancock was a great movie. Not only, like, the point is that black superheroes have been needed and have been wanted. People are like, oh my God, holy shit, look at this Black Panther. Cultural, universal, worldwide enthrallment and excitement, and everybody wants it. Marvel was bringing it. It's not just for black audiences, it's for all audiences. Asian audiences, everyone is hyped for Black Panther right now. Everyone. And people were hyped for a black superhero 10 years ago. 10 years ago. Why? And what's the evidence? Hard evidence. I mean, I don't care what you want to say about critics, because critics aren't the pulse of the culture. Like, critics bring a few perspectives to movies, but who cares what critics say? Critics shit on Suicide Squad, and it still made tons of money. And Warner Brothers, you fucking chop that shit up to shit. Stop fucking editing, post-production your shit, and fucking focus grouping your goddamn movies to death. Why are your cartoons 10 times better than your movies? Fucking Warner Brothers cartoons make me cry all the time because they're so goddamn good. What the fuck? Justice League War, phenomenal. Justice League the movie, mediocre. But shout out to Zack Snyder for his horrible tragedy, because I was fucked. If somebody's daughter dies, it's just harsh. But, fucking having two directors fuck with Justice League just neutralized the crescendo of the movie for me. It just didn't work. Like, Joss Whedon and Zack Snyder, both of their visions just clashed, and it didn't work for me. So, and that's why the climax is happening, and there's just, most of the movie, it's just kind of flatline. Just all these phenomenal moments are happening, and Batman and is hanging with Aquaman and Wonder Woman and cracking jokes, and Flash is doing amazing shit, and it's just like, okay. Anyways, the point is, my real point is Hancock, black superhero. Hard numbers, hard numbers. People are like, oh, well, it wasn't that critically well received, and you might not have thought about it much, because people talk about Blade because people know Blade was fucking awesome. That's just, it's a cult classic. Everyone knows Blade 1 and 2 are amazing. Blade 3 should have been better, but, it was still pretty good. And, but Hancock, what did it make? I think it made $230 million domestically, and something around like $650 million globally. Really. Look, I'm dead serious. This is a black superhero movie that did not originate from a comic, and it makes $600 million. Starts getting makes over half a billion dollars. Go look at the numbers. Go do your research if you don't believe me. And it makes 220 something $1 million in North America alone. In North America alone. There's if a movie makes $100 million, they're like, well, we're gonna do a sequel to this, even if it's shitty as shit. It's just Hollywood reality. They're just like, it doesn't matter how badly reviewed this movie was. It's a formula that people like, and we're gonna keep making it. So that's what the Ice Age movies are. Anyways, so Hancock makes a whole shitload of money. It's mediocrely reviewed because, one, it doesn't even have a villain with superpowers in it. Two, it has a incomplete world where you have all kinds of beautiful possible threads. He's got a backstory about him not remembering his own history, and it's technically like a Zeus and Hera story, and Charlize Theron is in it, and she's got superpowers too. Sorry, spoiler if you haven't seen it, but anyway, you should have seen it by now. What the fuck? And yeah, so it's just ridiculous how much potential that Hancock has. You easily could make a trilogy out of it, and yeah, so I'm back. So nothing. They don't make a sequel to Hancock. They don't do anything else. And it's whack. It's whack. I mean, 10 years ago, Will Smith could have done a trilogy already. He could have done a Matrix trilogy. Fuck. He could have been in the first Matrix, we already know, and he didn't. And hell, he had Hancock, brand new story. So the villain in Hancock doesn't even have superpowers. You could tell the story was a half comedy, slight drama, and superhero story. It was kind of sketchy and wonky in places, and you'll see a lot of reviews saying the movie switches up halfway. And there's different edits of it that remove certain things that should be in the final version. And I've seen it quite a few times. Shout out to the scene where, actually, it's probably the first scene. The first scene that addresses superhero ejaculation. And it is ballistic. That is all I'm going to say. Ballistic. So, Hancock, Will Smith, sequel, needs to be done. I was just on the IMDb and I saw last year, sometime in June 2017 or something, they were just suggesting that there was a Hancock sequel in development. I don't go on IMDb too much, but I should just double check Will Smith's page and see if there's actually word on that, because I would love that to happen. And just the point is, black superheroes have been needed. It's time. It's a wonderful time to be alive. It's a wonderful time to be a comic book fan. I have no idea how I'm going to watch Black Panther tomorrow with Niagara Falls, Wakandan waters, protection rivers flowing out of my eyeballs at all points in time. I'm just going to be gushing tears. It's going to be wonderful. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be sad and tragic, and I'm gonna love every minute of it. I hear it's 2 hours and 12 minutes. That's just great. Just give me a 2 hour movie. Just, yeah. After an hour and a half, we're just like, nah, we ain't done. We ain't done yet. Still more to go. So, gonna go to Wakanda tomorrow. I ain't never gonna be the same. When I come back from Wakanda, Mindbender's just gonna be a different man. It's gonna be Malcolm Lovejoy time. It's gonna be superhero time. It's gonna be awesome. Excelsior! Shout out to Stanley. Stanley cameo. How's that? Yo, I don't even know. Is Stanley can't be the only white guy in Wakanda. Like, it's an unconquered African nation. I don't know if Stanley's gonna show up in Wakanda, but I hear a little birdie tells me two little things. You're not gonna watch this before this show happens. It's probably gonna be after, but I hear Kendrick Lamar's in the movie for a blip, and I also hear that they travel to Oakland for a moment. So maybe in the Oakland scene is where Stanley will pop up. But I'm ready to pop off. I'm ready to chill. I'm ready to zone. Shout out to my brethren from Stolen from Africa for linking up the tickets. And that's all there is to it. Mindbender loves you. Malcolm Lovejoy does too. I'm going to go to Wakanda, and I'm going to love every moment. That's life. It's a beautiful thing. Love your life. Spread love. Spread joy. Spread truth. Wakanda forever!